Hooray! Hello,
Hi,
big wide world out there in the social media land. I'm Margaret Pinard,
I'm Elle Mitchell.
and we're here to talk about YOLA Book Upload. So,
Quick aside, if I look at a very bizarre place and my glasses do weird things, the geniuses at Apple have my laptop, so I am using a different one and I am not adjusted yet. So bear with me.
desperate times, desperate measures.
Right?
Yeah, this is going to be our final sort of live chat to update people about the goings on before we do our kickoff. It's going to be next Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So definitely put that on your calendar. We're going to be doing exactly like this on our platform of StreamYard, but also on Facebook for people who love Facebook and on YouTube for people who are on YouTube. So hopefully we'll see both types of people feeding in comments and whatnot. But yeah, so welcome. Tell us where you're observing from, and we'll give you a shout out. We want to try all the bells and whistles and give people a preview of how fun it's going to be next weekend. So please.
I can't believe it's next weekend. How is it? How are we here
I know. How did this happen
this year?
this year? Exactly. We've talked a little bit about some of our authors. We've talked about the application process and all that sort of stuff. I thought we'd just, do some feel good why we're excited about YOLA Book Upload PDX this year. So my thoughts, I jotted down, so you're going to see my eyes going back and forth because I cheated. But basically, accessibility, it's a lot easier to get to us. You don't have to drive to Southwest Portland. You can be virtual, and it's free. So that's pretty easy. That's why we're hoping for a much bigger audience. You can be anywhere. You can observe it after the fact. But of course, we always want live viewers because then we can interact, and that's so much more fun. And learning. So the biggest step up this year is that instead of just talking to authors who are sitting behind tables, they're actually putting forth content that they have sweated and bled and cried over, I'm sure. So, you get to hear a bit about the behind the scenes and the process and, a lot of interesting things. So what are a couple things you were excited about YOLA Book Upload for this year, Elle?
I mean, I'm definitely excited about the content in general. I mean, honestly, the panels, it's nice because a lot of the time, so this is a slight veering from your question, but a lot of the time as the co-organizers as well as authors ourselves, the last few years, we would get set up and we wouldn't get to go and like spend lots of times with the authors. And that's kind of the best part is getting to know the authors that are there. And so this year you're going to get to see some of the best parts of them. You get to hear a little bit about their story, about things they're passionate about, because that's, they're choosing things that matter. My panel is about research because that I'm passionate about that. Hers is on BookTube because she's passionate about it. So you're going to get to see kind of like smidgens of us in different ways. And so I think that's just in general what I'm excited about.
Yeah, I love that because it's true because when we were in one place in the room and we were trying to like make sure everything was going perfectly and people were happy, it was, the coordinator disease. Whereas this time we get to listen in on all the conversations because they're all in one place.
Yes.
I like it. The fly on the wall approach. I'm definitely down for that.
What about you? What's your most exciting upcoming moment? Like before you get to decide.
Yeah, well, I went through those before, so I'm out. I had those 3 that I mentioned. So, what about reading now? I have a couple of books that I'm reading now, and whenever you get to bookish conversations with other authors, everyone's throwing names around, and it can be a little intimidating if you're like, I don't know all the latest people, or I'm overwhelmed with writing, and so reading is not even a consideration. Is there a book you're working on now? Is Kim's book on the roster?
Yes. So I'm currently one of the people I'm on a panel with. Kim Taylor Blakemore. I am reading her book, The Companion, and actually, not to be, uh, underplayed, I also read Robert Dugoni's Jurymaster. These people are fabulous. I did a really good job at picking people, you guys. They are really talented. You should read their books. I'm also reading The Neverending Story, which I'm sure most of you have heard of from at least the movie. I didn't know it was a book, so I'm reading it with like a little book club. And I just picked up Little Cruelties for another book club. I know very little about it, and so that should be a fun one to check out.
Nice.
What about you? How many books do you have on deck?
Well, strictly speaking, I would say 4, but I was going to highlight 2 I haven't talked about before because, I mean, we've done a few of these, so I want to vary it up. I am listening to, from Libro.fm, Speak for the Trees by Diana Beresford Kroger. And she's in her 70s, and she's just gotten to, I think, 19 years old in her life story. And it's already like been riveting my attention because she's someone who was born to one English and one Irish parent. The English was an aristocrat, so they turned their back on someone marrying an Irish person. And the Irish people were like heritors of ancient Irish blood, and they turned their back because she married an English person. And both of the parents died when she was like 13. So she's thrust into this world as an orphan and is very unequipped to deal with things, and lands in the perfect sort of, here's the plant lore, here's people who accept you, here's all these wonderful things to learn. And so she launches into this science world, which is definitely not my world, but she's making it sound so interesting. So I'm loving it. And then I have a read on BookTube that's called Anger is a Gift by Mark Oshiro. He's a young adult author who just came out with a new book, but this is his old one. And it's really good too. The plot just moved forward in a major way this morning when I was reading it. I was like, no, I think this is going somewhere where I don't want it to go. Like, caring for the characters. Not that it's a bad plot. It's just that something's happening and you're like, no, please. So, when you do that, you've got your reader hooked.
That's true. That's always a good sign.
Yeah. So, yeah. How about you? Let's see. News. The next thing I had that we could talk about was news. Well, we're in different places, I should note. So for the holidays, I'm safely down in California in San Luis Obispo. And the news here is that we just had an 80-degree day and a windstorm, and it knocked down all the palm fronds. And so I had to go clean those up. So that's the exciting news outside my door. What's happening in the Portland, Vancouver area?
We have our typical misty, slightly rainy for like 5 seconds weather. I'm still waiting for it to get cold enough that it snows. Fingers crossed.
It came close. My friend Monica is in Southeast Portland, way southeast, like foothills of Mount Hood, maybe. And it snowed there yesterday for her birthday, which was so awesome. Beautiful.
Wonderful. Happy belated birthday. So we didn't get any of that yet, but hopefully. Other than that, no real news to speak of. I mean, literary news for sure, but like world news, or I should say local news, not. World news is a whole different thing, but.
So let's go to literary news, because one of the things I did was check up on our authors and our Twitter feed to see who was active over there. And I thought I'd highlight a couple of cool things people are doing. As you may know, Molly Ringel is releasing a new fantasy called Lava Red, Feather Blue, and there's going to be a giveaway for that on Saturday when her panel is airing, which is amazing.
Absolutely.
We've got Lars Hedborg. He is faithfully posting #ThisDateInHistory to inform people about Revolutionary War facts with photos and blog posts and everything, which is really cool if you're a historical fiction fan. The other really cool thing I saw was the paper lantern writers are doing historical holiday baking videos on YouTube. And I was,
Oh.
yes.
Well, if you saw our last chat, then you'd know how we feel about baking.
Yes.
Uh,
Love it.
I'm getting a slew of recipes from my friend because of my love for baking. Apparently, her family bakes uh, every year out of this giant cookbook that their great great grandmother made of over 200 cookie recipes. So she's going down to see which ones appeal, and I was like, you can send all 200 to me, and we'll go from there.
That sounds fun. That sounds really fun.
I don't
My,
know how many would be considered historic, but we can. I mean, a couple greats. I'm sure some of them have to be slightly historic, right?
right. My neighbor dropped off a cookbook several months ago for my mom to go through that was cooks from San Luis Obispo County had put together favorite recipes, and she thought she would find people she knew in there because they've been here for 40 years. I looked through, I don't recognize any of the names. I'm just kind of like, really? Like, it's weird. I
That's
wish I
pretty
knew.
neat.
I know the recipes are probably great, but I'm just like, they're just typewritten. There's no pictures. Like,
Oh, that's always hard.
70, like, come on, bump it up.
Well, you should make a day where you just flip through with your eyes closed and pick like four and just make them and see what happens.
Or, so the neighbor also brought by the traveling cookie tin, which is a cookie tin that you pass on to someone with cookies, and it's like a chain letter. You pass it on to a new person, and I love that idea. So
That's amazing.
yeah,
Why is that not a thing everywhere?
maybe they'll
I
make
mean, well, COVID is why it's not a thing now, but why hasn't that been a thing in my life pre-COVID?
right. Yeah, Alexis, is it Bledsoe? Who's the actress who was in Gilmore Girls?
Oh, you had to ask.
Anyway,
I would have known like 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, I would buy into that. The traveling cookie tin.
Yeah,
It's cool. Sure. One of the other literary news things I was going to highlight was Telltale. So you were on the, movie stage equivalent for a night last month. Can you tell us about that?
Okay, so Telltale is this amazing, it's like a storytelling festival, essentially. It's just one night, the third Thursday. I think I can count right. Every month, it's a Thursday. It's the same Thursday. It's been happening for about 3 years. And usually it's in person. It's put on by Jasmine. And she curates this collection of local authors and writers and poets and musicians and hybrids of all sorts of things. I mean, this last time she had a poet who took moments for interpretive dance. It was incredible, and everybody just bears their soul. Their tagline is "Get vulnerable and take no shit." And it's. I mean, I think you can share fiction, but no one does. Like so it was kind of cool because I mean I shared a piece about my physical health, which was a pretty raw piece, and then the other one was about my last day of school, which was a pretty harrowing moment in my life and kind of shaped the rest of me. So yeah, it's cool. And this next one is coming up, and they're going to be doing a white elephant gift, which I actually signed up for, where because they're not doing it in person, basically you buy a gift for someone over the internet that you don't know and mail it straight to their house, and they're going to open it at the actual event, all on Zoom. And
cool.
She does all sorts of stuff like that. That's super fun. If you haven't heard of Telltale, look it up. It's Telltale PDX, because otherwise who knows what else you get. But check it out. Go. It's a $7 buy-in, but it's pay what you can. So don't be afraid. If you don't have $7 this month, come support people, get to know us. It's cool.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
Glad that was a good experience. Yeah. I think nights of speaking stories like that are, I don't know if it's new as a phenomenon and if it's popular in Portland, or if it's been around and I just found out about it, or if it's popular in other cities like it is in Portland. Because Back Fence is another one, and
Oh, yeah.
the moth is a huge one. I just feel like it's this kind of big thing, like a big subculture, right?
Yeah. It's and the storytelling festival, which is in Tennessee. Yeah, I think it's in Tennessee. It's like this was the 50th year. They did it online, which was crazy. But it's funny because it's reminiscent of that. Only, that's a huge. I think it's 2 days. It's like a 2-day festival, but they have curated storytellers that just share all the things, and it's really cool to see when people choose to bring in their culture or their heritage or actual stories of their life or their family's lives. It's cool to see what people want to kind of dig down and share. It's great.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool. Well, I wanted to say a couple more things, including
Yes.
it's almost like, well, we've had the first night of Hanukkah, so it's like holiday time, and I wanted
Oh,
to sure everyone saw we had these cute shirts, and they've got the logo that's adorable that Elle Mitchell here designed, and it's fantastic. So it's on all sorts of different things, all sorts of useful things that would be great gifts. So
yeah. I mean, stickers are totally useful for things like decorating your bookshelves. If you've seen Bookstagram, you know what I mean. That's a thing.
or if you use a bullet journal.
There you go. It also mugs. It comes on mugs and these. What are these called? These things.
Bottles, water bottles,
Coffee cups.
Yeah,
Those things.
what goes in those types of thermos coffee mugs?
Tea. For me, this is Earl Grey tea.
Yes.
It's been refilled all day. Just Earl Grey tea and more Earl Grey tea, and it's the only way I function is drinking Earl Grey.
Yes. That's perfect. Yeah, I'm trading, as I was telling someone today, I'm trading off the cozy hot drink, which is, full of sugar if it's hot cocoa or full of milk if it's tea. So I trade off with water to make sure I'm hydrated enough in this health conscious time. See, you have both. You're like double fisting. Yeah.
Always. There's usually an extra bottle of something. It's like a top up of one of the two of these nearby.
Yes. Well, I trade off. So there you go. So we haven't done this before. So this is the last live chat, and I just wanted to put something new in here, which is the sponsor shout out. So yeah, if you go to our website, yolabookofloatpdx.com, you'll see that we have sponsors this year, which is great.
So exciting.
And I know we've got Literature and Latte, which, as if you're a writer, you will know they make Scrivener and Scalpel and amazing products like that with amazing customer service. And so I use Scrivener.
I couldn't live without Scrivener. The day that I discovered it, I have not gone back. And I have converted a lot of people. I've written Medium articles about it, for real. Obsessed.
There you go.
Genuinely obsessed.
Yes. And then we've also got Not a Pipe Publishing and JD Estrada. And those are two of our authors and publishers that are on our panels, which is great. And then A Mighty Blaze. Woo! So A Mighty Blaze you may have seen on our lovely TikTok series that we put out, just like trying to be fun and humorous and give people a laugh. So I did a little, it's not stop motion directing. What would you call that?
I don't know. It's horrible. What I call it.
And you do this.
I like that. You do this and do this. Reminds me of the Bob's Burgers. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Oh, I don't know that.
It's adorable and it's a cartoon, so she does it better than me.
It reminds me of Daria, where she says,
yes,
"This is my best side. I know they're both good."
It's shocking. They're the same.
Yeah. So good. So anyway, go to the YouTube channel to see the TikTok videos, because Jenna Blum, the CEO of A Mighty Blaze, was my grumpy elf, and I was her, her straight man trying to help her call people in for YOLA Book Float, and it was so much fun. It's very hilarious.
Very much so.
Yes, yes.
What else you got?
What else have I got on my docket for today?
Yeah.
I was going to say a want book, but I've gotten so many books that I wanted recently that maybe I'll just leave that to the side because I want to focus all on our authors' books. So we'll leave that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, just basically YOLA Book Float PDX is your ultimate stop for discovering indie authors this season, other readers and writers in a free, open environment, and asking questions, interacting with people, participating in good giveaways as well. And hopefully it'll be a bright spot in your winter of discontent. If you're having one of those. I don't know. I don't want to assume anything.
I do, because I assume we're all having it.
Everyone is. Yes, totally. So what are we going to send people out with? The date for the kickoff. And be sure to sign up on Facebook at A Mighty Blaze or YouTube at YOLA Book Float PDX to see us next Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific for our kickoff and our hints that we're going to give people for the giveaways that are going to be happening.
Yes. Oh, and when you're on our website, go ahead and sign up for our mailing list and, bookmark all of the panels, because then you can get an alert. You just have to click on each panel and then there's an add to calendar. So you'll get a nice little alert. So you don't even have to remember things because YouTube's good like that.
Yeah. Automated. I mean, you might have things to say about slippery slope, but
well, we can say that in 2021, right?
Right. We can wait. For the moment, please let Google take all your worries away.
Yes. Yes. Don't think about Black Mirror at all.
Black Mirror, I haven't seen that, so.
I've only seen a few, but honestly, you only need to see one to go, technology.
Yeah. Yeah, or listen to the news for one day.
That's true.
So, yeah. Well, I think that's all the news we have that's fit to print. And thanks for anyone who popped in to say hello or look at the juicy, juicy tea. We'll see you next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern for our kickoff.